Got a list of videos to watch play.
April 13th, 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles gave a speech about the dangers of communism and the war of the mind.
In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA conducted a sinister secret program to master the science of mind control. While the secret studies might sound like the stuff of horror science fiction, sometimes the truth is even stranger.
Facts. Can't believe the fucking government did this shit. Their own fucking fellow humans, bro.
Beginning in 1945, American and British organizations teamed up to gather as much military, scientific, and technological research as possible throughout occupied Germany. As German research facilities were seized, Allied force groups began to confiscate war-related documents and materials and interrogate scientists. One particular document was the Ozenberg List, a catalog of scientists and engineers working at the service of the Third Reich. Run by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, or JIOA, the covert operation dubbed Operation Overcast, then renamed Operation Paperclip, involved having 1,600 German scientists and their families brought to the US during the Cold War to work on America's behalf. The objective was to use German intelligence to develop America's arsenal of biological and chemical weapons, ensuring that they didn't fall in the hands of the Soviet Union. While President Harry Truman sanctioned the operation, he forbade recruiting any Nazis.
President dripped out, for real. He got the Ray-Bans on with the motherfucking suit. Like a professional, man.
Nazi supporters. In spite of this, the JIOA bypassed this directive by hiding any incriminating evidence of possible war crimes from some of the scientists' records. Concerned with the Russians had developed mind control programs, the CIA wanted to find out how US spies would hold up if it was used against them. With this in mind, Operation Bluebird, later called MKUltra, was created by Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. Despite going against the Nuremberg Code, which prohibits experimentation on human subjects without their consent, MKUltra was conducted in secrecy for over a decade and experimented with, quote, the use of biological and chemical materials in altering human behavior.
Oh, hell no.
This amounted to many experiments being carried out on an estimated thousands of US subjects, many of whom did not know exactly what they were signing up for. Some of the subjects included sex workers, prisoners, and people with terminal illness. And many of the experiments involved the administration of illegal drugs. According to journalist Stephen Kinzer, who wrote the book Poisoner-in-Chief about Gottlieb, Gottlieb wanted to create a way to seize control of people's minds, and he realized that it was a two-part process. First, you had to blast away the existing mind. Second, you had to find a way to insert a new mind into that resulting void. And what did Dr. Sidney Gottlieb believe was the best way to blast away the existing mind? A newly created drug called LSD.
What?
After its discovery in 1943, psychiatrists researched the drug for possible use for depressed, psychotic, and epileptic therapies. In the early 1950s, Gottlieb arranged for the CIA to buy the world's entire supply of LSD. Once he collected all of the LSD on US soil, he began to...
Yeah, bro, it was legal at the time. You know what happened? Doctors prescribing daily tabs. Daily tabs. You got grandpa popping tabs every night, bro. Frying his brain. Oh my god. Dude, nah, but it's facts. That's what happened, bro. They fried their brains and they died off this. Because the doctors were signing, yeah, this is okay for y'all to do. Like, yeah, you gotta fucking experiment before you do this shit, man. I just give it to people.
Fucking messed up. Under the guise of bogus foundations, sending it to hospitals, clinics, prisons, and other credible institutions to begin administering it in a series of research projects. Eventually, Gottlieb decided that LSD was not useful and that mind control was not possible. The program ended, and in 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered that all documentation from Project MKUltra be destroyed. But while most of the records were destroyed, information on the project
these are
8,000 pages of financial documents that were accidentally left over. These,
you know what he was gonna say. You heard me.
Pieced together the sordid history of
burn it off.
A 1985 Supreme Court document identified.
It's because, you know, if you, I had 30 minutes of sleep yesterday, last night. That in mind, if you stay up for 2 days in a row, your brain acts like if it's drunk. You'll have like if you
I believe it.
I've seen studies where like if you were to blow on a fucking DUI shit and you haven't slept, then your brain's gonna create a chemical that's similar to alcohol, and like it's similar to you being like under the influence. So that's why I'm a little bit like fucked up right now. I had 30 minutes of sleep, not lying last. It's not even that. It's just I'm fucking tired. And I drink a Red Bull.
Not even know they were taking part in a CIA experiment. Taking place all over the country, the experiments used LSD, barbiturates, hypnosis, and biological agents, and resulted in some unspeakable horrors. In one instance, a mental patient in Kentucky was continuously fed LSD for 174 days. And while nearly every part of the MKUltra experiment is easily viewed as horrifying, nothing is so stomach-turning and alarming as the death of Frank Olson. Or was pushed from a high-level window at the Hotel Statler in New York City. The fall killed him, and the CIA claimed he jumped from the window, committing suicide
It
to
looks like it's
work-related
part of the
stress.
video.
In his life, Olson was recruited to work for the Army's
the chat,
biological
right?
lab in 1950
No, it's
to
the
develop
green
aerosol
screen. Look at
weapons that
it.
could be transmitted through air particles. From the CIA that his death was the result of a stress-induced suicide, they changed their mind when in 1975 details of Project MKUltra were made public. An investigation by the family would show, and President Gerald Ford
There you
apologized to
go.
the family.
Hell yeah.
But the cause of the death remained a mystery. In 1974, Seymour Hersh exposed the MKUltra program when he wrote about it for the New York Times. In 1977, a Senate committee conducted hearings about the project. They noted that there were effectively very few medical pre-screening procedures in place for subjects targeted in the program. Moreover, the report states, at least one death, that of Dr. Olson, resulted from these activities. The agency itself acknowledged that these tests made little scientific sense. The agents doing the monitoring were not qualified scientific observers.
Weird.
The test subjects were
This is
seldom
weird.
accessible beyond the first hours
Weird
of the
as fuck.
test. In a number of instances,
That
the
shit
test
shouldn't be
subject
normal, bro.
became
You take
ill
me to
for
my
hours or
fingerprinting
days,
tomorrow, friend?
Yes,
and
nigga,
effective
for the
follow-up
fourth time
was
today. Yes.
impossible. The committee decided that the victims of MKUltra should be notified, but
Oh
finding
my
them was quite difficult since the
God.
CIA had destroyed much of the project's records. While lawsuits were
Oh,
filed, and
it's
court
got
cases heard
good.
demands for restitutions for victims and more information be released, ultimately little was done. According to San Francisco Weekly, only 14 people were actually notified, even though potentially thousands were exposed to MKUltra experiments. In 1994, Frank Olson's son had his father's body exhumed. A new investigation showed that Frank Olson had suffered a blow to the head before falling to
I
his
thought you
death,
said Frank Ocean.
but a
What the
New York
hell?
District Attorney investigation showed inconclusive results. The family reached a settlement with the U.S. government.
That's another filing. Okay, but look, supposedly they found some fucking UFOs, bro. Recently, bro.
We've got some fresh images of 31ATLAS, the third ever interstellar object observed from Earth,
interstellar
currently
object.
racing through our solar system. Now, astronomers have captured that moment live, streaming in real time around the globe of them watching all of this. Take a look at this.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
yes, look at that bad boy.
Bro, what
This
the
is a raw
fuck? They're
image,
just
so this is
coming
not
our
even
way.
like.
Is
I mean,
it
this
this
is just
one?
directly
Is it
from
this one
the
with the hole
telescope
in
right
it?
now.
Or
You're
is it this
looking
one?
at a
It moves.
piece
Dude,
of
this one has a
what
hole.
would have become a planet in another star system. This is a building block from
it's
somebody else's
moving.
home.
It's moving.
This is a building block
like
from
if
somebody
it's
else's home. I
maneuvering.
mean, hard
Like if
not
it's
to get
alive.
Dude, I just thought about it. We're 1 second away from just colliding into something.
Or for an asteroid to come to us, an asteroid could hit us. But that there's an object moving at a pace outside, like the universe that they're tracking,
Is this
and
this?
and it's moving at a pace where it's maneuvering around shit.
Oh, bro, chill, bro.
stoked
Yeah,
about
that's
that,
what's
even though
happening.
it doesn't
Dude,
look.
that's some bullshit.
The
They're gonna
rapture.
say
look like much,
disappeared.
it means a lot, and all
I
eyes are on
believe
that
it.
developing.
I believe it.
I mean, well, look at this bullshit.
Or maybe it's not a tail, but 31 Atlas is moving closer to the
These
sun.
motherfuckers don't know
There's still
shit
so
about
much
space,
we don't
bro.
know, and with the sun's glare
Moving
taking over our
closer
window
to
to
the
see this
sun.
interstellar visitor from Earth
that?
is closing fast. Meanwhile, Mars is about to get a front row seat coming up on the cosmic calendar October 3rd. That is when 31
Remember when
Atlas
the eclipse
swings by
happened?
the
Did you
big
see that?
red planet and NASA's
You watched the eclipse?
Yeah.
Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. That could give us our best look yet. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb calls it a blind date with deep space. And Professor Loeb joins us now. Professor, always great to see you. Thanks so much for being with us. Just finished your latest essay. It looks like it was like 3
Nerd.
hours ago.
Where's he from,
Just
Professor?
jump in with the
Professor
possible
X?
size of this thing, like 20 to 40 kilometer diameter. That's
Wish it was
bigger
bold.
than
I wonder where he's
like
from,
a
though,
city
this dude.
size, maybe like San Francisco or something. And
Yeah,
then
it
you
says in
are
the
talking
back,
with
but I
your
can't really-
astronomer buddies about the possibility that this is a megastructure, like an artificial megastructure. Let's start with like the possible sci-fi of it all.
Well, thanks for having me.
No, lower.
The biggest question is
another-
whether the reflection of sunlight is coming from a solid surface, in which case, as you pointed out, it could be as big as 40 kilometers, twice as big as Manhattan Island, or maybe a dense cloud of dust. Now, until recently, we haven't
These fucking guys' logic is so outrageous. It's so outrageous,
They're
bro.
just creating a.
It's a planet. It could be dust.
But it's still weird that.
Bro, that's so
Okay, keep going, but it's huge apparently.
Dude, that guy made my head hurt so
It's a
bad.
geostorm.
dust being pushed back behind the object by the solar radiation pressure. And so one had to conclude that perhaps we are seeing a giant object, but a rock that big is 1 million times more massive than the previous interstellar objects that we've seen, Oumuamua and Borisov.
Well, it doesn't make any sense.
That is quite unlikely. So either this is actually a dense cloud of dust that somehow did not produce until recently a tail, or this is not a rock. And in that case, maybe it's targeting the inner solar system. We know that the trajectory is very well aligned with the planets, and it will come very close, as you pointed out, to Mars, and later in March 2026 to Jupiter. And so the fundamental question, as far as I'm concerned, is what is the object? How big is it? And with the camera HiRISE that is on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, we should be able to resolve the object with a pixel size of 30 kilometers.
bright.
That will be our best chance in the immediate future.
How
to
is
tell
dust
what is it.
glowing?
So we're going to lose the Earth perspective, but we're going to get a perspective
stardust.
from some of the imagery and imagers that we have
Right.
around Mars or on Mars. That's fascinating stuff.
I've
But
heard of that
I got to stop you,
project too.
like rewind you a little bit.
That
Getting back
fucking
to the
fake
tail.
ass UFO
Is the
operation.
tail now pointing in the right direction? Because for a while there, it seemed like the tail was pointing towards the sun, right?
Dead ass,
In
bro.
fact, I'm now
Dead ass, bro. That's the sun, fam. They just took a picture of the sun and fucking added a filter on there. You see that shit? It's the sun, fam.
working on a paper trying to understand that. This is the first time something like that is observed, where there is a glow ahead of the object towards the sun. And now, as it approached closer
believe
to the
shit
sun,
they say, bro.
there seemed to be
all
some
theories.
teardrop shape
Coming up with
to
bullshit.
the
Oh, bullshit.
I could say, oh, that's heading straight towards
And
Earth.
that may be just the
It
focusing
doesn't.
of,
They could say, oh, it's a
whatever is
dust. It's
scattering
not.
sunlight around it.
They don't even know what it
By
is.
the,
They say
solar
dust,
wind
then
or
planet, then
the
rock.
solar
Like, what
radiation
the fuck?
pressure,
I
we
think
don't
it's a
know
plasma ball.
exactly what is causing it.
I think it's a star matter,
As it
whatever
comes
the
closer to
fuck,
the sun, we will
stardust.
get much better information because
I think it's the sun, bro.
interrogation tactics
I think it's the sun,
often uses stressful environment to get
Silver
a
surfer.
confession, and in this case, we
Over.
might get a confession from this visitor.
Oh my
as
God,
to
that's
the
how close
nature
it's
of
gonna
it
come.
and where it came
Imagine if
from.
it bumped
And it's
into
all
Earth.
exciting, science can be
That's
fun
weird.
as long as you open your mind to something new.
How do they
And
know
we
it's gonna
definitely
do
know
that?
there are new things.
30
in this,
checking its
context
speed.
Oh,
because,
so it's going
for
straight,
example,
right?
we detected nickel without iron.
If it's a
in some
comet,
recent
imagine it
data
hits Earth,
around
it's
the
like as big
object.
as Manhattan.
I wonder
The
how they
only way
measure
you get
that.
usually is from
How
industrial
do they know that
production
something
of
entered the
nickel
atmosphere?
alloys. And so there are many open questions. The plume of gas around it is mostly carbon dioxide, 95% by mass, based on the Webb telescope data, and only 5% by mass, water. Vapor.
All right, friend,
So,
time to take
you know,
up the
we don't fully
telescope.
understand what's going on there.
Oh, I have it in the living room.
We can see
So we can see the fucking 31 slash Atlas, bro.
A little bit more fidelity here.
What type of
asked
shit
you, and
is
you're
this?
like, it's probably a comet. Is it becoming less and less likely of a comet here in your eyes?
Hello, nigga. Welcome.
For now,
From
I
Atlas
rank it
31.
4 on the scale that I define that is called the
From
Loeb
31
scale,
Atlas.
where 0 is a natural object
Welcome,
and 10 is a
nigga.
technological object. But just
Hello.
a couple of hours
Say it,
ago,
bro.
I heard from two
Kaisen
car
says it all the
racers
time.
in NASCAR that want
Hello,
to
say
put
it. Hello,
my
nigga.
image
Say.
on their car because of 3ATLAS. Apparently,
Oh,
you know,
nigga.
the race is in October, and
Greetings.
just around the
What is
time when this object will come closest to the sun, and
This is
it's
31
becoming a very
Atlas.
fashionable subject,
Hello.
even for sport
That's a sign, bro.
aficionados.
Sorry ass photo, bro.